And we see the start list for the first semi-final, AB in the men's double sculls. We can't look too far past the Norwegians, I think, in lane 6, Kettle Borch and Olaf Tufte. Kettle was the world champion in this event back in 2013, and of course the Olympic sculling champion Olaf Tufte from 2004 and 2008.
You can see there is just a little ripple on the water up there as we take a look at the crews. We've got the crew from the Netherlands here, Bram Schwartz and Nicky van Sprang. In lane 2, we've got the Bulgarians, Georgi Bozilov and Kristen Vasilev. They were 9th at the Rio Olympics in this boat class, so I think they'll be looking to try and push for one of those top 3 places. We've got the Polish double scull, Sitarski and Biscu. They were in the quad for Rio, where they came in 4th place, now in the double. The Swiss, great regatta so far for Delauzi and Ro Isli. They were 7th in Rio in the quad scull. Alongside them, the Italians, Mondelli and Ramboldi, European champions. So it's getting to the business end. Everyone is quality. And then this crew, as you said, Sarah, the Norwegians, Kettle Borch and Olaf Tufte, great champions, sitting on that outside lane, and they're going to be challenging for those top 3 places who will qualify for the final of this event. So the crew's still not yet been called forwards. The red light's on, and there is just that little ripple on the water.
Yeah, times are pretty decent. Polyansky in the semi-final of the men's para sculls came down in sub-10, which is not far off world record pace. I don't think these doubles are going to go to world record pace. Gloves on for Kettle Borch there, Greg, black gloves. I guess that's the sweat, maybe to cope with the sweat here in the very humid conditions.
Yeah, and I guess, like you say, we've seen a few people, as you said, the Slovenian lightweight single fell in the water, and it looked like it was just a small tap, and that rubber grip can slip out of your hand in these sweaty conditions.
Great shot there of Roman Ruizli, the 24-year-old Swiss, as he gets ready for the start of this race.
Blade squared up in the water now. Just a little twitch in the muscles.
And we're away in the first semi-final, the first race of our broadcast today, the men's double sculls. A good start across the board there, as you're saying, Greg. We saw a few twitches there, the athletes sitting on the start line, but everyone getting away pretty cleanly, and it looks like a good start here by the Norwegians closest to us on screen.
Yeah, we're riding with the poles there. 23-year-old Matthias Bixup, closest to you. Quite a lean back there at the back end of the stroke.
Yeah, I guess it's trying to get your trunk working, and that's what he's doing there very effectively. Quite an upright-looking style, as you say, as we now have a look at these Italians. High rating, as we expect to see from all the Italian crews. Luca Ramboldi in the stroke seat there, tall man, leading the boat out, and a great first 250.
You've got to get out quick in this race, and it strikes me that the age difference, the stroke of the boat on this side, the great double Olympic singles champion Olaf Tufte, 41, and then on the far side, Bram Schwartz, the stroke of the Dutch double with his cap back. He's the guy on the left of your picture, just 19 years of age. And of course, he stroked the Washington University. For all those watching in the States, he stroked the Washington University crew this year. Came back and then stroked the Dutch crew to win the under-23s. Now he's in the double. But there's the man of the championships, Olaf Tufte, in the Norwegian double scull. He generally likes to come quick at the finish, so he knows he's got to be in the contest this early in the race, and that's the quickest I've ever seen him go out, I think.
As they come through the 500-metre mark here, quite interesting. This combination's been together for a few years now. Kettle Borch and Olaf Tufte taking the bronze medal at the Rio Olympics last year. So interesting to see them out in lane 6, because of course coming through the earlier rounds you'd have the fastest crews in the middle. But I mean, with their experience, I don't think they'd be too flustered by that.
Yeah, I was talking with the Norwegian quad, which amazingly qualified for the final in that great men's quad semi, and they were saying what an inspiration it is to have Olaf Tufte and Kettle Borch in the team. And in fact, Olaf Tufte sculled with the youngsters in the Norwegian quad in the European Championships this year. So, you know, he's an icon, a role model, but he's out there trying to do his thing. And it's a different race profile from the Norwegians.
And now we have a look in with the Polish crew, Biscu and Sitarski, and they're in the middle of this pack, and they're just starting to ease away, I think, into these top 3 positions, just trying to drop the Netherlands, because as we know, it's only 3 to qualify. That upright style that we can see. And I think this is good for these 3 in front, the Norwegians, like you say. They've gone hard quite early, and they're going to want to try and keep this gap now.
As we see the Italians here on screen, Mondelli and Rambaldi rowing really long and starting to really just edge away from the rest of the field now. And it's really important in these semi-finals, we spoke about it yesterday, to really establish a bit of a lead at this point in the race. They're coming into the 1,000-metre mark. What you really want to do is shut down those last 3 positions in the back of the field and establish yourself up the front. And that's exactly what we've got here with Poland, Italy and Norway coming through the 1,000-metre mark. They'll be really wanting to open up that gap now. Probably not in the safe zone just yet, but it's starting to become a pretty big lead for the trailing crews from Switzerland and the Netherlands to make up.
Yeah, that's a decent lead for the Italians to have. It doesn't accord with what happened at the Lucerne Regatta, where the Poles led them by about a second through the 1,000 metres. The Italians will slow down a little bit if that form goes according to what happened back on the Swiss lake. But basically, Italy have been on fire here. All their crews smoking. The men's 8 just incredible. And the Italian team has just done something in their training camp. You can see the cohesion there of their blades, and these 2 are flying.
Well, we've had a big gap, haven't we, since Lucerne, a little bit longer than usual. It's about 8 weeks, and so they've had more chance to work in the training camps. I know they've been in Piedeluco, beautiful lake, not too far from Rome.
Yeah, Polish blades, 2 guys out of the quad. Polish quad qualified yesterday, different combination than these 2 in the men's double. Perhaps they thought it will be a more open event, these 2 scullers. But it's interesting for me, the contest between the Swiss and the Norwegians, actually, Greg, because Norway went out very quickly. The Swiss double have been really trucking here, Delaires and Roesley, coached by Robin Dow and Bill Lucas, of course, the 2 Brits. And they are going to come back on the Norwegians at the finish. We're going to have a barnstormer for that 3rd place, that 3rd qualifying place.
Yeah, before when we had the shot at the field, you could see Delaze in the bow seat of the Swiss crew looking across at the Norwegians. They're still very not safe with that overlap now, the bow ball over the stern of the Norwegians, and it is the critical 3rd position that's important here. But look, here is an answer from the Norwegians. They're starting to pull back the Poles.
Where did that come from? Where did Tufte pull that out from? What a 3rd quarter from the 41-year-old. That is sensational as we look at the Dutch out of a qualifying position there. The Swiss really trying to get on the Norwegians' tail, but Tufte, as he shut the door.
Well, the big question is whether this boat in lane 4, the Swiss boat, can really make a big move now and try to bother these crews in front of them. As it is, they're already up at 39 strokes a minute. They're going for it. But like we said, Tufte and Kettelborsch on the near side in number 6 went early, and they seem to have made a pretty decisive move, and the course looks like it could be running out.
And we can see the Swiss there. They're desperately looking across. They're up at 40 strokes a minute. They know that this is their last chance. 250 metres to go as they come through the 1750. But this is what experience buys you. Look at Kettelborg and Olaf Tufte. They're going with the Poles. The Poles don't want to be caught in this rat race for the last qualifying position. They're now moving up on the Italians as well.
That is Viking power, the Viking of the Norwegians. And Tufte has it in spades. And he's going through the Italians. The Norwegian, the 41-year-old, has found another gear. There's about 20 strokes to go. The Swiss are in the sprint too.
And look at the Swiss sprinting for it as well. The Italians waited. They kept their rate down at 38 strokes a minute. They haven't gone up yet. They look like they're trying to save something for the final and letting these other boats sprint alongside them. The course looks like it's going to run out unless something goes wrong. We've got about 3 strokes left to get to the line. Look at the Swiss flying up here. The Italians still staying very calm and going to almost just drift through there. A massive sprint from the Swiss.
Wow, what a way to start the semi-finals this morning. A photo finish between the Poles and the Norwegians for that race.
Well, what a great race all around. I'm going to be interested to see how those Italians get on in the final, because I think they really did look like they conserved their energy. They didn't do the big sprint that we saw from Kettelborsch and Olaf Tufte here, who raced it the whole way out and put themselves in that photo finish. See who's actually won this one.
So we pick up there the drone shot, I guess, from Tufte and Borsch.
Yeah, we can see the drone if we look out from our commentary position directly above the boat, which gives you just a great shot of just how narrow these boats are and how easy the scullers are able to make it look when, in fact, that boat is only as narrow as their hips and rolls over pretty easily, as we have seen occasionally. So we wait now for official confirmation. This one's taking a bit longer because they're obviously having a pretty good look at this photo. So there it is. It's confirmed that it was the Polish crew who ended up in first place.